All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, first and foremost, let's give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Harakakadash.
Rakakadash.
All right, I give double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and taught us this truth. We also like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect in the 1/3. It is your brother Salah.
Brother Barak.
And over here we have a
Brother Sarah.
all right. And today's topic, right? So today's topic, we're going to be talking about DJ Trump or Caesar Nero, man. He basically passed a new executive order, right? Which basically, right, within 90 days, right, this man's about to this man's about to instill martial law, right? Right, and this lesson was inspired from the brother from the Arrows of Indignation 144. Go check out his video. Oh, in fact, we'll be playing a little bit of his video soon. But basically, right, the rundown is Trump. He basically signs executive order strengthening the strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens. Right. Basically, he's gonna get the military, right, but involved with the police to basically giving them full reign to arrest and detain anyone. One, right. So this motherfucker Trump, he is basically about to instill martial law, right? And as you can see here under Section 4 of using national security assets of the law, right? So the order says within 90 days of the date of this order, right? The Attorney General and the Secretary of Defense in the Constitution with the Secretary of Homeland Security and the heads of agencies as appropriate shall increase the provisions of excess military and national security assets in local jurisdictions, assist states and local law enforcement within 90 days of the date of this order of the Secretary of Defense in coordination with the Attorney General shall determine how military and national security assets in training non-lethal capabilities and personnel can most effectively be utilized to prevent crime, right? And of course we know it's bullshit when he says non-lethal because you best believe this fucking devil is gonna use any and everything to fuck up you Jakes here in America, man. Right, but the thing with him signing this executive order, it's basically illegal for him because as this Edomite here as we're gonna bring on the video, he'll explain that basically the Posse Comitatus Act, right, is and we're gonna read here the Posse Comitatus Act is a United States federal law signed on June 8th, 1878 by President Rutherford B. Hayes that limits the power of the use of federal government in the use of federal military personnel to enforce domestic within the United States. So basically, it limits the use of using the military, to police citizens in America, right? And he basically says in the video, there's only two ways that President Trump can overturn this, right? And one of them two ways is one, have Congress overturn the Posse Comitatus Act, which is basically going to be damn near impossible, right? Right. Or the other one, and this is the one that's most likely going to happen, or that basically will happen, right? Is invoking the Insurrection Act and enforcing martial law. That's this motherfucker. He's going to enforce martial law, and that's basically what's going to usher in Jacob's trouble, man. And basically, right, like DJ Trump, like these motherfuckers, they're breaking the law of the land, as you can see right here, right. It says here the general misconception is that any statute passed by legislators being the appearance of the law constitutes the law of the land, and the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and any statute being valid must be in agreement. It is impossible for a law which violates the Constitution be valid. This is succinctly stated as follows: all laws which are repugnant to the Constitution are null and void, which is Mulberry versus Madison, right? So basically, everything everything that Trump's doing, right, is in violation of the Constitution, right? So that goes to show that these motherfuckers, they do not care, they don't care about you damn people, man.
and
They don't they,
and
they, they don't care.
and and so I'm just gonna bring out a verse that's correlated to this. This is the book of Isaiah 31:1. It says, "Woe to those who go down to Egypt for help, who rely on horses, who trust in the multitude of their chariots and in the great strength of their horsemen, but do not look to the Holy One of Yasharal, or seek the help from Yahweh Shem Yahushai." And what does that go back to? It goes back to, Jake, and a lot of these people. They put their trust in this man. They're gonna, like, oh, if Trump gets president, the prices, everything's gonna be good. Everything's gonna go up. Matter of fact, I went to the bank a couple months ago. This was like, actually, like about last year. And this guy, they basically had a guy come in the room in the bank, and he was basically explaining how that if Trump gets elected president, that the market's gonna start looking good. Basically, it was like some sales pitch. I don't know why, but they were basically telling us give them some money, so I guess it could what's it called? Just I don't know what it was, but the point is, these people really trust. They really trust in this devil man, these politicians. They truly believe that they're gonna, like, change their lives, but that's a whole illusion of this, this shit. People want to be lazy, and people want to just give their how you say it, they don't want to trust in the Lord. They want to just trust in some man. And that's it, and that goes into their downfall, man. You start trusting in man, you start trusting in these fucking people, these sinful people. Oh, look what's gonna happen to you.
You're gonna get fucked up, and basically, right, that goes back to Israel, right? When they saw them Canaanites, I believe it was in the book of Numbers, right, where they basically said it would have been better for us to go to Egypt, which basically shows that they had no faith in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and that's basically 2/3 of their own people that trusted Egypt. Wise because ultimately they were set up for destruction, man. And let's get that, let's get that precept right. It would have been better for us to go to Egypt. Slocky, I think it was in the book of Exodus, right? Yeah, it's, yeah. This, and this is when Pharaoh was drawing nigh, but it was also in the Salaki. It was also in the book of Numbers, right, where it says here. And let me find that because I know what verse it's around. Caleb had a different. All right, let me get Numbers 14 now. Now let me get that in the Blue Letter Bible. Bear with me, brothers. All right, right here. All right, so it was chapter 14, right? So Numbers chapter 14, right? And this is going to when the when the children of Israel rebelled, right? So if we read back in the previous chapter, right, it goes in the spies report, right, where they where they sent out spies to search out the land of Canaan, right? And when they saw them tall ass Philistines, and that that's when Israel got scared, right? So Book of Numbers chapter 13 verse 33 says here, and there saw Yeah, and there we saw giants of the sons of Anak, which come the giants, which we were in their sight as grasshoppers, and their sight. Now it doesn't mean they're fucking tall like fucking 16 foot tall fucking fucking Dark Souls or Elden Ring bosses. No. It just represents that those motherfucking Canaanites were just tall were tall as fuck, right? Like they weren't literally like fucking skyscraper tall. No. No, it goes to show you it's supposed to represent the emotion that Israel felt, that they were scared when they saw them, right? And that even plays along in the book of Exodus, right? When Israel basically witnessed the Lord drown chariots armies into the Red Sea, right? Of them getting scared, but it's like when they went into the land of Canaan, right? Israel got scared. Israel lost faith. Why? Because they got into their flesh. They basically got scared, right? And that's basically what's happening right now with Trump signing with these executive orders. That's Israel losing faith. So I'm gonna read book of Numbers chapter 14 verse 1, and all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept at night, and the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, and the whole congregation said unto them, would God had would Yahweh that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God or would Yahweh we had died in this wilderness? And wherefore hath the Lord Yahweh Bashim Asar brought us into this unto this land to fall by the sword, and that our wives and our children should be prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt? Yeah, and that's basically what you see right now, man. Israel's basically getting scared right now. They're trusting in Egypt because what's about to happen right now? Martial law is about to kick about to kick in, right? But guess what? They're gonna get a rude awakening that this man Caesar Nero, right, aka Donald Trump, like these Edomites, they're not fucking for you, Jake. They're here. They're not. They're here. They're here to fucking kill and destroy you because in the book of Exodus chapter 14 verse 12 they basically said the same thing when Pharaoh's armies were approaching. Is this not the word that did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians, for it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness? And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still, and let's and see the salvation of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, which he will shew to you this shew to you the he will shew to you today. For the Egyptians who ye have seen in today, ye shall see them again no more forever. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward, but lift up thy rod and stretch out thy hand over the sea and divide it, and the children of Israel go into the ground in the midst of the sea, right? And that's right there when they crossed the Red Sea, right? And then when Pharaoh's army tried to cross, that's when the Lord drowned them basically. And and even though Israel witnessed that when they went to the land of Canaan, and when they saw them tall ass Canaanites, they got scared, right? They got scared again. They lost faith, and that's what you're seeing happening right now. What happened before, right, is what's happening right now, is because the children of Israel, they have no faith, man. They don't know the Lord, right? And hey, so we're gonna get out this precept. The ox. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verses 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know, my people does not consider, right? They don't consider all the miracles and everything that the Lord has done with them over the years, man. Man, that's why the Lord is basically calling Israel, dumber than an ox and an ass, which is one of the two dumbest creatures on the planet, right? Right, and you about to see the horns of this damn devil, right? Pushing out this executive order, Jake. They, right. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 20. It says here, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous, and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is my defense, and my God, my power is my rock of refuge." Right? Right? And he shall bring upon on them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off from their own wickedness. Yeah, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai shall cut them off, right? So yeah, man, you seeing this damn devil right now, framing mischief in the law. Ultimately pushing out the prophecy of martial law, right? Because we are fastly approaching that time, but you Jakes want to trust in oppression, man. That's why the Lord says, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, and the third shall be brought to the fire. Right, right. Let's get that out. All right, this is the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, starting at verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is my power. Right? Right, and now I'm about to play this video from the brother of Arrows of Indignation. But if you brothers have any other precepts, that you want to bring out, now's the time.
Yes, I got a precept. Book of Second Ezra 2:27. It says, "Be not wary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance."
Yeah.
So ultimately, like while all these heathens out here are gonna be, not only are they gonna envy us, but they're gonna be like dying. But the men who call on the Lord, the prophets, they're gonna be spared. The elect men, they're gonna be spared. And these are gonna be the same people that made fun of us, scoffed at us, mocked at us, said we were crazy. You have family members that will speak amongst other family members that who called you fucking crazy or gossip behind your back, and then they're gonna start coming to you. They're gonna start coming to you for advice, and we're not gonna even speak to them because ultimately it was ordained by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua that these people were not, they weren't chosen. You know.
That's right, man. These people, they were ordained for destruction, as we just read. Right. So all right. So now before we play the video, we're gonna get the we're gonna get the Copyright Act. All right. So disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So with that, we're gonna play the brothers' video. Arrows of Indignation 144.
Okay, this is incredibly important, so everybody stop what you're doing, share, repost, do whatever you can to make sure people know about this. Because something flew under the radar for a lot of people yesterday. Something that cannot be explained and does not make sense, except under certain circumstances. Yesterday, Trump signed an executive order called Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Citizens. Like most things the Republicans do, it is a misnomer and pretends that it does something it doesn't. But there's a certain section you should look at. You can pause to read this, but it says that within 90 days of the order, the Attorney General, the Secretary of Defense, and the Secretary of Homeland Security increase military and national security assets in local jurisdictions to assist state and local law enforcement. This literally says that within 3 months of this order being signed yesterday, the heads of these agencies are supposed to use the military for local policing. This is something that is currently already illegal under the Posse Comitatus Act. The federal government and the military cannot be used to enforce domestic policies. And as many people have pointed out already, there's only 2 ways that he can actually use this executive order to have the military do local policing. That is by somehow having Congress overturn the Posse Comitatus Act, which is never going to happen, or by him invoking the Insurrection Act and putting us under martial law. There is literally no other way that executive order would work. This is something that everybody should be alarmed about.
Let's talk about Trump's newest executive order. I posted about it previously saying it was Trump calling for martial law. I had people flooding my comments saying it's not martial law. Do you even know what martial law is? Do you know what due process is? Do you know what federal courts are? Do you know what the Constitution is? Because Trump has repeatedly attacked every single one of those things. He does not care. This administration does not care about the rule of law. It uses censorship and propaganda in so many forms to demonize and generalize groups of people to make them easier targets amongst their supporters. They have eliminated due process to imprison and deport innocent people to concentration camps, regardless of legal status. They have imprisoned and deported legal U.S. residents, work permit holders, people who have been granted asylum, people going through the legal immigration process. They have deported children who are U.S. citizens. The regime has imprisoned students for peacefully protesting the genocide they are funding and facilitating. They are labeling anyone they want a criminal or terrorist without proof, kidnapping them with no warrants, revoking visas without cause, and imprisoning them without due process, and they've begun arresting judges. I said this new executive order is a call for martial law because that's exactly what it is. The Trump regime does not adhere to the formal practices. It does not adhere to the rule of law or our system of checks and balances. This is the next step. This is the next mile they are taking after being given all kinds of inches. And they are doing it under the guise of fighting the illegal alien invasion, which is a big fucking lie. If you read the executive order, you can see that they are talking about investing in the capacity of prisons. They are talking about militarizing the police, deploying military and national security assets into local jurisdictions, holding state and local officials accountable, off the tail end of arresting a judge, so we know what that means. And they are talking about prosecuting those who take part in diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. If an administration is talking about prosecuting people for diversity, equity, and inclusion, you should probably infer that that administration is fucking bad. We need to understand the scope and the gravity of what all of this means and treat it as such. We can't mince words. From the guy who wants a military parade in Washington, D.C. for his birthday, when Donald Trump repeatedly says he's going to do some fascist shit, that's the only time to believe him, because that's when he's consistent. They've already invoked the Alien Enemies Act to give ICE immunity and the power to break into people's homes and kidnap them without having a warrant. They are this close to invoking the Insurrection Act. What's happening in this country is all encompassing. And if you've actually been paying attention, you'd be ringing the alarm bells too. This is not normal. This is fascism. This is not me fear-mongering, as some people call it. It's literally the exact opposite. Do not be afraid of these stupid fascists under this idiotic dictator wannabe. This is a call to preparation and organization, and a reminder to our service members to please uphold your oath to the Constitution.
President Trump has just officially declared martial law as of today, April 29th, 2025. Yesterday, he signed the executive order called Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and to Protect Innocent Civilians. This is terrifying, and nobody is talking about it except Rolling Stone magazine for some reason. Please go to whitehouse.gov, read the full text yourself, and spread this word. In summary, he declares that the military, the police, and ICE shall be unleashed into the streets of America to root out anything they declare as crime. They will be shielded from any prosecution for wrongdoing of any kind. If a civil official stands in their way, they will be prosecuted as a criminal. What this means is that no warrants will be needed by anyone. If you get murdered by ICE, that's legal. If a judge or an attorney tries to prosecute them, they will be arrested themselves. This is a state called martial law. It means that the military, the police, and ICE decide the law now. We no longer have rights. As Trump and Pam Bondi have both said, speaking out is a crime. Disagreeing with the president is a crime.
So there you have it, basically, right, man. This damn devil Trump, he's about to instill martial law, and he's even doing it to his own damn people, right, like he's doing it to other so-called white people or Edomites, man. So let's get out a few precepts and we'll close out. Brothers, I'm thinking about another precept. Like he shall have no pleasure in his own goods. But I can't seem to find that. But basically, but we're gonna read Matthew's chapter 12, and we're gonna start at verse. And we're gonna start at verse 24. Or start with Salaki, verse 25. It says here, and Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself it shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?
Yeah. So when you see, you got Esau setting up systems like to the two political parties. He's setting up these race wars. He's setting up how you say it, the what was that? Was that the he's setting up different political beliefs. So then the whole house basically divided amongst himself. That's why he also sets up these certain terms like black or white or Republican or Democrat. Because basically he wants people divided against each other. So ultimately, that's the best way to control people. It's like that analogy. You put a bunch of ants in the jar. A bunch of red ants and black ants in the jar. You shake that jar, and the ants are going to start attacking each other. It's exactly what that same thing that this man does.
Yeah. What's it? Yeah, and that goes back into Revelation, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And that goes back to his left and right paradigm, the two horns of a lamb, but he spake it as a dragon, right? Going back to Revelation chapter 13, verse 11, where it says here, and I beheld another beast out of the earth, and had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, right? Going back to his draconian measures, right? And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, right? Ancient Rome, and what they're doing right now with that martial law is they're basically ushering that ancient Roman the ancient Roman Empire, right? That's what they're going. What they're trying to tap back and going back into, and causes the earth and then withdraw them to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed, right. And when that deadly wound was when Rome fell around I believe that's when Rome fell around 400 AD with Constantine rising back into power, and they didn't come, and Esau basically didn't come back into power until the Renaissance, which is around the late 1400s, right? And that's basically what you're seeing right now, man. With Esau's left and right, or with Esau's with his political parties, with his left and right paradigm. That's his two horns, right? And them going looking like a lamb. That's two horns of a lamb. That's representing America's inception, it's beginning. Even though we know that America's inception was with violence and bloodshed. But what it goes back to is their constitution, right? It goes back to them being a quote unquote God fearing land, which is why I have I brought out the picture of the law of the land, right? Going back to going back to them upholding the Constitution, but as you see right now, man, this devil the Esau, man, he's breaking his own Constitution, man, and it goes to show you that this man, he doesn't even care about his own damn people, right? That that's why you know you, that's why he's about to come down with great wrath.
And you want me to get a scripture for that as well?
I'm bringing it right now, Salakia.
Okay, okay.
All right, Revelation 12:12. Rejoice ye heavens and earth. Salakia, rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell there, dwell in them. Woe unto the heavens of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. And what's a short time? He has a short time in rulership, man.
And also, I got another thing to bring out that's related to what you were saying, brother. Selah. This is the book of Obadiah 1:18. It says, Jacob will be a fire and Joseph a flame. Esau will be a stubble, and they will set him on fire and destroy him. There will be no survivors from Esau. The Lord has spoken. So there's going to be no Edomite survivors, man, and the ones and ultimately Esau is going to be a fucking slave. And he's going to be a slave and he's going to burn. You know?
He's gonna be a slave in the kingdom, right? And that's talking about the millennial reign, the first recorded 1,000 years that's gonna be in the kingdom, right? He's gonna be a
Yep.
slave to us. He's gonna suffer the most horrific slavery ever known to exist on the face of the earth, man. And he's gonna suffer through the worst, man. Because what does Scripture say? Double, right? Let's get that. Double unto them. It says here, Revelation chapter 18, verse 6, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double. Man, so Esau, man, he's gonna get double to what the fuck he's done to us, man.
Yep.
He's gonna go through that 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, double to what he's did, man. Man, we're gonna
Yep.
do everything that he's done to us. We gonna do unto him. Mine is the fucking sodomy bull crap. We're not gonna do that to him, but we have other stuff in place for that. He's gonna suffer through all that, man. And after that 1,000 years, we're gonna throw his ass into a pit. All the men, right? We gonna burn them up, and then that's gonna be it, man. No more fucking Edomites.
Yep.
And it says right here, right? Right. Is let's see. Is relative and nephew. All right. All right. All right, this is the book of Job, chapter 18, verse 19. It says here, he shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day. They that went before were frightened. Surely there are such dwellings of the wicked, that this place of him that knoweth not Yahweh, man. So man, there are gonna be no fucking Edomites remaining after that 1,000 years. We're gonna burn up all the men. Yeah, we're gonna keep the women alive, but they're gonna eventually die off. So that means no more Edomite nation.
Yep.
Yeah, Esau. Yeah, Esau. So get ready for fucking captivity, man. Man,
That prideful ass spirit is going away from this man. Like he's realizing he can't fucking, you know, he isn't this this guy that gets everything everything he wants. Because Esau has been used to getting everything he fucking wants.
that's right, man. He's he's that spoiled brat that's finally getting punished, man. The Lord he's been saving he's been saving Esau up for this very day, man. Like that time that was never before, man. He's gonna make sure Esau fucking pays, man.
Yep.
Uh, uh, all right, and if you brothers don't have any final precepts, we're gonna close out.
No, that's it, brother. That's all I got.
And we're gonna close out with one more precept, and this is for you motherfuckers, right? Brother Saw, can you mute your mic, please? Brother Saw, can you mute your mic, brother?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Okay. We good.
Yeah,
We good.
yeah. What's it called? Yeah. Again, this is this is for you dumbass people, right? Right, we're not gonna say who we are, but you were featured in GMS's channel, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm speaking to you. Who? Yeah, 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 man. Yeah. We should be talking about Esau because Esau does play in a prophecy, right? Right? Yeah. What you talking about? Not. Well, it's not always about Esau. Yes, Esau does play in a big role because when Yahushua comes back, he's gonna come back into a world ruled by Esau, and this is in the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
And that's it's literally prophecy, man. Like, how are you gonna say, oh, it's not always just about Esau? Like, no, it's not. But this is part of prophecy, homie. Like, we can't just take parts. Like, what does the scripture say? You shouldn't add or take away from this.
Yeah. Don't add or take away from the word and eat the whole roll, man.
Yeah. So so how are you gonna leave out a certain part of prophecy? That's the problem with these fucking pastors and these fucking
Itching ears.
congregations, man. They just want to tell you the sweet things. Because they got Edomites in their congregation, and they know these Edomites will get pissed off if they hear that shit.
Khan. Hey, hey, bro. What he said they'll have itching ears in the last days. Itching ears.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell me what I want to hear. That's basically what they try. That's basically what they want.
ultimately, man, those are those many men crept in unawares, that show no that produce no good fruit, man. And didn't Yahushua tell the tree that produced no fruit that is ultimately gonna die? You know what priest I'm talking about, brothers, right?
Repeat that, brother.
When Yahushua said there was I don't know if it was like an olive tree or something, but like it wasn't producing any fruit, and then Yahushua said that tree's gonna die.
Yeah. Here, let me pull this out. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're talking about I don't know if it's a parable, but it's talking about the fig tree.
Yeah, the fig tree parable.
Yeah. Parable of the fig tree, I believe. Habakkuk 3:17. It says, although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines. The labor of the olive shall fail, and the fields shall yield no meat. The flock shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in the stalls.
Yeah, that's right, man. And that parable that also plays that plays to you brothers out there. Man, that know about the truth, but you ain't, but you being what fucking napkin niggas, man. You ain't producing any fruit. You ain't going on the highways and byways and teaching, and you ain't, and you're not producing and you're not producing, and you not, but ultimately you're not. Like you're not making videos, singing this new song, speaking of the doctrine of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, which is playing in the prophecy, man, and ultimately that's you, and that's you ending up, that's you, you're gonna end up in destruction, man. At least you repent, and pray that the Lord gives you the spirit, right? So with that, we can end off the lesson right there. Hope this lesson was edifying, for your brothers and your few sincere sisters out there. And with that, we'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Hashem,
Hashem, Yahweh
Yahushai,
Shai,
Hashem,
Hashem, Yahweh
Kakodash.
Kakadash. All right, we'd like to give double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who well and taught us this truth. We also like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect, and the 1/3, Israel Salah.
Brother Barak.
Brother Sarah.
And with that, we'd like to say Shalom.